Welcome to everyone who's joining us from around the world for the first Serjoff live shopping experience for a cause. My name is David Wayne Callahan. If you're Italian, you might recognize me from film or TV. But tonight, I'm here in the beautiful, elegant Serjoff flagship store in Turin, Italy, to help a friend on a special initiative with a very, very special collaborator. But before we begin, I'd like to bring you all into the fascinating and fragrant world of Serjoff. So let's have a look at this video together.
Entrare nell'universo Serjoff è come iniziare un lungo viaggio. Basta chiudere gli occhi e lasciarsi guidare. È così che nasce Serjoff, da un'intuizione artistica, da un desiderio, dal fascino di architetture senza tempo. Fuori il lusso e la bellezza, dentro l'anima e l'essenza. Le opere Serjoff sono arricchite con materiali e ingredienti sempre diversi, dall'oro alle pietre preziose, dai legni rari, l'ottone, il bronzo, pelli pregiate. E poi la natura che affascina, seduce, ammaglia. Fantasia, lusso, creatività e puro genio sono racchiusi qui, in 6 collezioni uniche, scrigno della più alta accezione, ma soprattutto eccezione, dell'arte profumiera italiana.
It's now my great pleasure to introduce Sergio, the founder of the Serjoff Group and the creator of the Spray to Help project. Hello, Sergio.
Hi, David. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Well, thank you very much for being here today.
Well, thank you for the invitation. It's extremely exciting, and your place is beautiful here.
Thank you very much.
So, Sergio, we're here tonight to talk about the new initiative within your Spray to Help project. Can you tell us all about Spray to Help? What's it all about?
Well, Spray to Help is a collection of perfume, specifically created to support national and international initiative, which I particularly care about. And this is actually tonight we're going to introduce a really special project.
Which is the second, no?
Correct.
You've already had one project, and what was that?
Correct. About 1 month ago, we launched our first project, which is called 1986, which is a cancer research lab and hospital foundation. And this perfume is actually being created where all the proceeds obviously go to helping obviously the research of this very important hospital based in north of Italy.
And any significance behind the name, 1986?
Yes, indeed. 1986 is actually the date where the hospital was founded. So
very good.
It's a very important date.
A good year. Where were you in 86?
I was in London, I believe. What about you?
I was a mere child in Baltimore.
Oh, yes.
Not really. So, of course, this new initiative for this new initiative, you've involved your friend, your collaborator is the very special, extraordinary, one and only Brian May.
Correct. With Brian, I have created this fantastic project, which is called Save Me, and is a perfume, of course. Save Me exists to protect the welfare and the dignity of the wild animals in UK and globally. But can I suggest you to watch this video, which belongs to the Save Me Trust website, where Brian actually explains much better than me everything about the Save Me Trust.
Brian May here. It seems that for wildlife all around the planet, the candle is about to burn out. Everywhere, wildlife is under threat. But animal welfare isn't just about conservation in Africa or India. Treating animals decently starts right here at home. And it's really all about the right of every individual animal to a decent life and a decent death, and to dignity, and to be able to bring their children up in peace. We are Save Me, working to give care where it's needed, but also to give wild animals a voice. Surely, every animal deserves to be wild and to be free of persecution. Join us. Help us to make a future in which every creature's voice is heard.
Everyone watching, for the duration of this live, you can purchase Save Me by clicking on the image of the bottle of Save Me on your screen. This is actually a pre-sale. It is going to go on sale immediately after this live on the Serjoff Universe website. And you're going to notice when you click on the image that there are actually two different options available. There are 101 limited edition bottles. And what are they, Sergio?
Well, this bottle actually is signed by Brian and myself, and are true collectible items. But can I just interrupt you for a second? I can see that Brian is with us. Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.
So, Brian, can you tell us, how did your friendship, the friendship between you and Sergio, evolve into this collaboration? Brian, we don't hear your audio for some reason.
We can see you, but we cannot hear.
We can see you, but we can't hear you.
Maybe Brian will try to connect with us.
Yeah, maybe the line has dropped. So
Yes.
So Sergio.
He's with us. Brian is with us. Yes.
Does this work?
Oh, okay. Okay. Perfect.
Hurrah! Hello.
Fantastic. Hi,
Sergio,
Brian. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Even better now that you are with us. Thank you very much for joining us here in Italy.
Indeed.
Nice to see you
Welcome
both.
to Italy.
Yes, welcome to Italy, Brian.
Oh, I miss Italy so much. I guess we all miss things which we used to take for granted. So hard now.
Indeed.
True.
Well, we hope you'll be back soon.
Yeah, I do too.
Brian, we didn't hear you before, but I wanted to ask both of you, how did your friendship evolve into this collaboration and the creation of this perfume for the Save Me Trust?
Well, I met this amazing genius called Sergio at a charity dinner. It was also a sporting occasion, a polo match, and we sat at the same table. And Sergio actually hosted the whole occasion, which was incredible, including some royal participants. And we sat and we talked about everything, about music, about the world, and about animals. And we discovered that we shared a passion for wild animals and for making the world the kind of place where wild animals can flourish. Because after all, we're all wild animals, right? So Sergio said to me, well, I would like to do something for Save Me. I mean, Save Me is my charity, as you just saw. And what we do is we rescue wild animals in the area which we live, but we collaborate all around the world with similar projects. And Sergio said, I would like to do something for the charity. And I said, well, thank you very much, thinking it was a nice sort of kind gesture, and really scarcely dreaming that today we would be looking at this wonderful creation which he's made, which will benefit Save Me and benefit wild animals all around us. So my big thank you to Sergio. And our friendship has been pretty good all along the way, but I'm absolutely thrilled that this has actually come to fruition today.
Well, Brian, it seems like such an unlikely pairing, luxury perfume and animal rights.
Rock and roll.
And rock and roll. That brings it all together.
It all makes sense somehow, yeah.
So, Brian, when this how involved were you in the actual creation of the perfume, or did you leave that in this perfume artist's hands?
Well, obviously, it's entirely the expertise of Sergio and his team, but he was kind enough to give us a number of perfumes which all had labels and secret markings on, and he said, tell us what you think. And me and Anita, my wife, got into it and spent quite a while wondering how we felt, and we agreed eventually on one particular perfume. Now I have a little surprise for you here, if you're ready, because my lovely wife Anita is here, and she's gonna
Oh, wow.
join us.
Hello.
My collaborator.
Hello.
She's also the best barmaid in the world.
Ciao, Anita.
Chin chin.
Sergio,
Yeah, to save me.
save me and Sergio.
We had cocktails.
Yeah, it's only water, but it looks like vodka, so it's okay.
Yeah, this looks like vodka, but it's really water.
Oh, good for you.
Maybe not.
And dear Anita, I don't know if you remember, we met, I worked on 9 back in London in 1991.
Oh my God, is it?
Well, I remember you so well. You were such a bomb of joy and energy, and it was so great to know you. And in fact, I had the pleasure of very briefly meeting Brian as well backstage the night of the show. So great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you too. That was a great show, wasn't it, actually?
Yeah, beautiful show. Should have gone on for more than one night. It was
Liliane
actually a
Montagu.
charity event for AIDS.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
so
So
Anita,
I'm actually wearing the perfume, just so you all know.
Oh, fantastic.
and so are we.
Can you tell? You know, it's quite funny because I'm used to trying to portray stereoscopic photography on the internet and online, which is quite difficult if you've got the right medium for it. But portraying perfume online is a pretty tricky proposition, right?
Well, that's the next, the next job that we're gonna maybe set up.
But I
yeah?
do have it here.
Yes.
You can't smell
yes.
it, but you can see it. And it's a very, very beautiful, beautiful box.
It's a lovely perfume, lovely.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting story because it's actually I contacted Brian and said I have an idea to, like he was saying right now, and but obviously Brian has a very busy schedule, so did I, and we were trying to meet and actually 5 minutes to discuss about this project, and they told us, look, the best way to meet each other if you are in the Far East, as it happens, or maybe Japan. So, and as it happens, we were both in Japan. I was there for work and Brian was touring. And Brian was kind enough to find a gap in his very busy schedule. So we meet up first in Tokyo, where we initially discussed about the project. And then again in Osaka, again after a few days. And it was there and then that we decided that this project was going to happen. But the funny thing was that it was only a few days or few weeks away from this COVID tragedy, that after, I mean, everything seemed so fantastic that we were, Brian was touring and we had this beautiful project on, and after a few days, after a few weeks, everything collapsed. But that didn't stop us, because me and Brian, and we carry on kind of working on that and sharing everything, the look and feel of the product, the name, the actual packaging. And so actually we took advantage of this, let's call it this tragedy as such, to carry on working and creating this project. So I think that something good came out of this, as far as I'm concerned, something good came out of this very negative period, which is this project.
It's very interesting you say that we were there just ahead of the wave that was coming and never dreaming of what was to come. These were the last days of the old world, weren't they? The last days when things seemed like they would always go right for human beings, but now we are no longer the master race. And it's curious to me that it's humans that are getting hit by this thing. It's not the rest of the animal world in the main. And it's a big challenge to our supremacy, which in some ways you have to regard as not all bad, because we have seen that the world has become a kinder place for some animals already. And I think there are so many lessons for us to learn. Apart from this, which I'm putting in a perfect place so you can see it. But it's a momentous thing, and I'm absolutely thrilled that you managed to do this for us, Sergio.
Lovely.
But Brian, can I You made a joke before about, we can see each other and we can hear each other virtually, thank goodness, in this COVID moment, but we can't smell each other. So how exactly did you collaborate and arrive on the scent? And I imagine, Anita, you had a lot to do with this. What transpired between you?
Oh, the audio went.
Oh, we lost your audio for a minute.
Again.
Can you hear? No.
No, we still cannot hear. Okay, while we wait for. I think that Brian has just told us that he's connecting again.
Okay, Brian's going to try to. So meanwhile, Sergio, how did this work out? How did you communicate?
Well,
you can't send an email about a fragrance.
Yes, well, with Brian we talked in many different ways, emails and what have you, but the idea obviously was to recreate with the perfume. Well, the project itself is actually took two different stages. The first stages was the look and feel, because obviously this is a Sergio bottle, but it's got the Save Me Trust colors,
yes,
and it's the perfect balance with the packaging and the bottle that the two universes actually were joining together. So that was the first part of the project. The second project, of course, is the perfume itself. So the perfume has to, according to my point of view, which I shared with Brian, has to recreate the British countryside, if you can call it like that,
okay.
the British green valleys. So it's a matter of gathering together some elements.
Okay. I think we're back with audio.
Can you hear us?
Okay, perfect.
So Brian and Anita, did Sergio manage in the samples he sent you, did he manage to capture and evoke English countryside for you? How did you find them?
Well, for me, there were 3 samples, and for me, there was no contest. By the time we got to the third one, I just said, that's it, that's the one for me. And Brian went through them all and checked them again and said, yeah, I think I agree with you. And for me, it's a natural scent. It's like of nature, of, being in the woods, forests, trees, flowers, a lovely sky. It makes you feel kind of whole, I suppose. I find it a very pleasing smell. And it does make me think of flowers and woodlands and things like that. So that's what clinched it, really.
Yes, I think that is exactly what we were trying to aim, because obviously perfume, apart from the packaging, is not something that you're able to see. I mean, once you spray it, it's a sensation. It's something that everybody wears in a different way, but it needs to have a message. Doesn't not just need to be a nice perfume. That's not the case. Perfume is always nice, of course, but in this specific case, has to tell a story. So, and the story has to bring you right in the British and the English countryside, and trying to think of what we're talking about. We have to think about Save Me Trust and what it does for animals, and the fight that Save Me Trust, which again was founded by Anne Brammer and Brian a long time ago, and all the fight that they've been getting through in order to preserve the British wildlife, but not only, like Brian was saying, the international connection, and it's something that we should all learn if we don't know, and if we do know, we're trying to support. And of course, this is one way to support Save Me Trust, of course, but the most important thing is to believe, and what we're talking about is to believe that, like Brian was saying, that nature has to be respected, and we haven't done so, apparently. And it can also be that now we are kind of paying a little bit the price for it. So I think that we should redeem ourselves. And
as Brian alluded to correctly.
And yes, and we should really concentrate in respect much more nature, if it's not too late, of course.
Absolutely, yeah. Pretty interesting. I feel like Sergio has changed my life quite a bit, really, because I don't think my sense of smell was very well developed, and it took a while for me to understand what he was talking about, these various components to various scents and perfumes. And it's a whole world that opens up to you. And I think of all the mammals, perhaps humans are the least in touch with their sense of smell. Would you say that's right, Sergio?
absolutely correct. Yes, well, the sense of smell is something that is the first sense that we develop when we are born, because we smell. Obviously, we don't see, we don't eat, we don't taste, but we smell our mom, we smell the milk, and we smell the feeding. And but then we tend to kind of put that kind of sense on the side, and the taste and the sight and the touch actually develop further. And this is not it's not for animals. It's different. Animals survive thanks to the smell. Is a great way to survive, to maintain the species. And of course, we can all think, I mean, we all know that there are, even dogs are trained to work for man, and but also the wild animals, they, as I said, they do survive because of the sense of smell. And that's, of course, is very, very important. But it is important, like, I mean, it is incredible words that Brian is saying, that it's actually never too late to learn about the sense of smell, which is a wonderful sensation. I mean, odors or smells or whatever you want to call it, or perfume, which is maybe is the most noble part of the sense of smell, is something which can be developed at any time. It's like learning how to drink a good wine, or tasting a good food, or actually recognizing a wonderful thing like a good design, or be able to touch any kind of elements and be familiar with it. The sense of smell is such a beautiful universe to discover. And
as well, the sense of smell is the first sense that brings human beings towards memories. It's the sense that evokes memories most of all, which goes back to the choice of the components for this perfume and to recreate the countryside. So, Brian, so as you say, you weren't necessarily very much into perfumes before this? I don't know, perhaps?
No, I don't think I
more.
really understood them. And I can tell now that it's like learning to appreciate music. Once you attune yourself and you actually focus on something, you learn to understand the complexities and the beauty of the way things are constructed. So it's been really a journey of discovery for me. I think we should ask Sergio about the components and how he chose them. How about that?
Indeed.
Because I would like to know how he built this kind of symphony of smells.
well, I would like to start from what Anita said before, which is very important. Anita said, when I came to number 3, because we number the perfume, Anita said, well, when we arrived to number 3, there was no contest. And that is very important. That means that it wasn't a matter of saying, oh, I like this, I don't like that. It's a matter of saying, that's it. That is the perfect perfume for what the subject that we're talking about. So, again, we were working on the what we call the olfactory memory. So something which is we rebuilt in our brain, in our memory, the British or the English natural countryside. And actually, Anita said it was like being there. Yeah. And this is exactly what the sense of smell is trying to recreate. So for me, obviously, it was a matter of trying to, first of all, to bring some green notes. That's what we call them. The green notes are a balance of different kind of herbs, leaves, and white flower usually, which they give you this kind of a immediate outdoor kind of a connection.
And what herb is this?
Well, I mean, there are different kind of herbs, and then I use the jasmine, of course, because there's something that it always needs to be there in perfume. But I use the gardenia as well, the tuberose a little bit, chamomile, which is something that obviously you find important. It's an important flower in UK as well. The ylang ylang is a kind of flower. It's a wild flower which really makes everything more noble and it gives you a lot of character. I also use a little bit of pink pepper. The pink pepper is what actually at the very beginning of the perfume opens up. You know, it's like the cheerful note that helps that say, wow, this is actually, it's an introduction. It's like when you go to a concert on a stage or whatever, it's very much the first song, you know, where everything started. And that's what we do with this kind of notes. But also I've been working with some woods. So the sandalwood, the white musk, those are the elements which are supporting the whole construction of the perfume. and obviously give us again the idea of the forest and the green environment. So I've played with this kind of I would say flowers, herbs, woods in order to recreate this ambient. I didn't want to go to any oriental way because that was not the point. So it's not an oriental perfume, is what I call white flower composition.
Actually, one of our viewers has sent a question with conversation we're having. We have here Janice from London, who asks, Sergio and Brian, you are two artists of different media from two different countries. Was it hard to work together?
No, never hard. I must say, this is all a bonus for me. I feel like I'm a very lucky person because certain people come into my life and give it a new dimension. I mean, I have to mention Anne Brummer, who co-founded Save Me with me. And if it hadn't been for Anne Brummer, I would have had a feeling about wild animals, but I would never have done anything. Anne came and she was already very experienced in animal rescue. And she said, can I use your property to make some runs for the soft release of the animals that we rescue? And I said, yes, but I want to know about all this. And that developed into a wonderful friendship, which really transformed my life. We became people who rescued animals at the lower, the grassroots level. We worked on outreach, education of the public into what wild animals need, and also lobbying at government level. We became a kind of pan-political force, although we're not aligned to any particular party. So we started to look very carefully at trying to change the way the world works, like in fox hunting and badger baiting and the badger culling that's been going on recently in Britain for no good reason. So it's been an immense passion. And then along comes Sergio, and he understands what we're doing. And suddenly a whole new, another dimension opens up. And I realized that I've never really understood perfumes. Anita has much more of an instinctive relationship with perfumes. I realized that from the start. But I feel I'm just beginning to learn. And it's very kind of appropriate in a way to me because I feel like I'm learning to experience the world like the wild animals do. I look at the foxes and the badgers, and they have a completely different appreciation of the world through smell. You can see in the way they behave. Their eyes are important and their ears are important. They make noises like us, but they have a whole world of perfumes which they understand, and that's the world they move in. So I feel like in a small way I'm starting to move in that world, thanks to Sergio.
Fantastic.
And you mentioned foxes and badgers, and they are featured here on the bottle. Are they?
They are.
They're of particular significance, Brian?
Yeah, they're both very important projects for us. The foxes, because fox hunting in Britain is a fairly ancient tradition, but of course tradition doesn't mean it's a good thing. And the torturing to death of foxes is something which we and many other people have been trying to put an end to for quite a while now. And actually we've done quite well in that area, and the fox hunting has now moved over towards the humane kind of hunting, which happens like the clean boot hunting, where they chase a person, a runner, and drag hunting, where they genuinely follow a scent, an artificial scent, and have a great day out riding. The thing that we're trying to get rid of is what they call trail hunting, which is basically a lie, because what they do is train the hounds with the scent of a fox. So if a fox is around, they accidentally kill the fox, which of course is a complete fabrication. So we're trying to, it's against the law now, but we're trying to close up the loopholes which allow this hideous sadistic practice to still carry on. So that's one of our areas. We campaign against fox hunting, and we're doing quite well. We're not doing very well with badgers because the government is sanctioning a huge badger cull. Thousands of badgers have been killed in the mistaken belief that it will solve a farming problem. The farming problem is an infestation of the cattle by a mycobacterium called TB, bovine TB, which is closely related to the human TB. It's hard for me. Once I get going, it's hard to stop me, But very briefly, what the badgers have been accused of is being a reservoir of infection for cattle. But in fact, it's the other way around, and we have a lot of evidence now to prove it, that the badgers are infected, but it's only because they're in the vicinity of cows, and the disease has to be conquered within the herd. So now we collaborate with a wonderful farmer in the West Country, and we've managed to clean up his farm together, working with a wonderful vet. And we're hoping that the world will listen, well, particularly that Britain will listen and stop just killing badgers and relying on a very outdated skin test, and start to conquer the disease the way it's transmitted in the herd. Strangely enough, it's so similar to the way the COVID-19 virus has had to be approached. You have to cut off the avenues by which it propagates. So it's very strange. There are so many parallels between bovine TB in cattle and the COVID virus in humans. Too complicated to go into here, but it's something which has intrigued me for a long time. If it wasn't such a tragic thing, it would be a wonderful intellectual pursuit, because it's just fascinating to try and solve these problems. But of course, there's great loss of life. There's loss of the cow's life. The farmers' lives are ruined because their livelihood goes. There's loss of the badgers' lives pointlessly. Thousands and thousands of badgers are being killed as we speak. And in the case of the COVID virus, it's us. Human lives are being lost. Our families, our friends, our fathers and mothers are sadly being taken away by this virus, which is pretty much the dominant creature on this planet at the moment, I would say.
I have some good and hopeful news for both of you. We only have 25 signed bottles left, evidently. So if you want your signed bottle, click on the image on the bottom of your screen to get your bottle of Save Me signed by both Sergio and Brian May.
Fantastic.
That's great. That's very good news.
And congratulations.
Yeah, but
Yes.
we will go on with the perfume. Is that right, Sergio? After the
Indeed.
initial
I
round?
mean, let's say we can call it the normal version. We can call it like that. Is produced in a few thousands. So from the end of this conversation, or from tomorrow onwards on sergioofuniverse.com, anybody will be able to buy. And again, all the proceeds will go to the welfare and to the defense of the wild animals in UK with Save Me Trust. So that's very important.
And again, that is sergioofuniverse.com. There's an image of the perfume on the bottom of the screen. Just go and click on it.
Fantastic. That's very good news. I was hoping to see this signed bottle for at least another day in my car, but I think that I think it's a site that I have to remember. That's it. But it's good news. It's good news.
And of course,
We're
this is
holding on to
Yeah,
this
we're
one.
keeping up.
Yes, we have one over here, and we're gonna treasure. We're gonna treasure it with everything we got.
The very last bottle can go for auction.
Excellent
That's a good
idea.
idea.
True. Yes, we
Very
can do
nice
that.
idea.
Yes, absolutely, we can do that. Yes.
Let's do that.
Well, do we have any other questions from our friends? Remember that we have people connected from the Middle East, from Russia, from USA, Europe,
Indeed.
Oh,
Brazil, and
Let's go to, we have a question from Dubai, a Mrs. Shuruk. And she asks, is Save Me only the first of other collaborations with Brian May? What do you think, gentlemen?
Ooh.
Are there other things in the pipeline?
well, we'll have to
Well-
talk. No, I think all our focus is on this project at the moment, but I would be open to doing other things. I don't know about you, Sergio, but I find this, I'm incredibly grateful to you for doing this. And so is Anne and the entire company of mainly
thank you very
volunteers.
much. Of course.
But on behalf of the
we are
wild animals too, thank you. But what of the future? I don't know. I don't know if we could top this. I think this is wonderful. I'm just totally blown away by the fact that it's happened.
No, look,
Tell me.
I think that this project, it came along very smooth. Of course, it was me and Brian creating, but there was a big team in UK as well. I mean, Anne, Joe, and over here in Italy. So there was a lot of people involved, people that we don't mention, but it's been a great effort. And I think it's also the success is not just to be able to create a project together, but with the fact that me and Brian, we met the last time 1 year ago on the other side of the world, and that didn't stop us. That means that we're being clever and smart enough to believe that anything can be done if you really want, despite of the situation. And why not? I think that I'm really sure that this project will be a success, because the success will be be able to help Save Me Trust to carry on performing like it's been doing for the last few years. So why not? Absolutely. And I mean, we are both creating. We are both creators. So I think that something will definitely pop up. And maybe, who knows? Maybe even
and not only, but
better.
the both of you also with the sage input of Anita Dobson.
Oh, absolutely.
In that final choice.
Absolutely.
And I would like to say, coming in as a relative outsider, how inspiring and hopeful and poetic this project is, because you through a friendship, you combined your great passions, your great artistry of creating perfumes. And for those who don't know, Sergio is very famous not only for the contents of the unique perfume in the bottle, but the bottles themselves are works of art. To bring your passion and your talent and your ability together with that behind with the passion for wildlife advocacy of Brian May, of Anita, to put your voice, Brian, behind this, it's very hopeful and very beautiful. And you two did a great job to realize this.
Thank you so much. It's great. I'm very excited. I think, this has never been done before. This is what I love, to go boldly where no man has gone before. I feel like I'm quoting someone there. But,
Star Trek.
I never heard of a collaboration between a perfumer and a wildlife organization, or a rock star for that matter, or indeed an eminent actress. But, it's unique.
And do you remember, Brian used to bring me perfume home from various trips he would do abroad when he was on various jobs. And he would always, I'd say, it's not really me, darling. And he'd go, well, I like the bottle. He would buy it because he loved the bottle. But for me, it was always the perfume. If it doesn't resonate, it changes when you put it on your body, as you know, Sergio, and different women smell differently with different perfume. So it was always really important that the perfume was the important thing. But I have lots of pretty bottles, though.
Yeah, well, it's important, isn't it? The whole thing. It's like, we make music, and of course it's all about music, but the packaging is vital. That's the first thing that people see. The album cover, the picture on the album cover is the whole kind of definition of the people's first impressions. And the same with this, you have this beautiful package. You probably can, you can see this. And out comes this lovely box, which feels beautiful. And in it sits very snugly the bottle, and you take it out, and it's the most gorgeous thing. I mean, you just want to hold it and touch it and kind of stroke it. And to me, it's a big part of it, and that's okay. And I think this is true of humans too. This is one of my kind of hobby horses. I think, for instance, with a performer, you can say it's all about the voice, but it's not just the voice. It's the whole body, it's the face, it's the soul.
Chemistry.
Which is why I really hate this program called The Voice, because it doesn't work. You can't just isolate a voice and say that's what it's all about. If you go to a concert, it's about a person. You see their face, you look into their eyes, you see their body movement, you see their passion, which reflects in everything they do. So it's the same with this. I think, and I know Sergio feels the same. It would not be okay to put a wonderful perfume in a bottle where you hadn't bothered. You just stick it in a bottle. Everything has to be thought about. Everything affects the person who receives it and communicates with it. And that's what art is about, I think. Art is a communication. And you communicate with people on every level. In concert, we communicate with the sound, the lights, the feel, the perfume of the audience. And You know what I'm saying? It's always a whole experience. And this is a great example, I think. I love this thing. I feel so proud that you did this for us, Sergio. Mwah. Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Bravo,
Thank
bravo.
you. It's incredible that Brian May and Anita are saying they are proud to be part of this project. I mean, what should I say? It's been an absolutely fantastic journey that it hasn't stopped yet. I mean, I said we will. Of course, our friendship will go on forever, I hope, and so we'll probably add the project. But yes, I think that carry on what Brian is saying. Look, we have a little book here, and it says, I don't know if everybody can read it, that beauty will save the world, which is a sentence that we have stolen from Dostoevsky, of course. But this is very, very important, because beauty is what makes a difference between us and all the rest of it. Is the architecture, is the photography, is the music, is in this case is the perfume, is art, of course. So art is something which really it can be expressed in so many ways. And who knows better than Brian and Anita as a great performer how important is art. And art is not just a single thing. Is something. There are many parts that you can put together. Like Brian was saying, I mean, music. I mean, it's not just the voice. It's the costume. It's the wall sound. Is whatever you put on stage. Is the movement. Is the colors, and that all creates emotion. So beauty is being invented by mankind to create emotions, and I don't think that I always said that we are so lucky that in our small world we are able to create art and beauty, because that really makes the difference. Hopefully not just to ourselves but to anybody else. So I mean, we are lucky, and it's correct that we do as much as we can for others, for other important causes, like the one that we are here
exactly
to talk about.
Beauty is also looking out for and loving and caring for someone beyond yourself and your family. And in the end, the beauty beyond this project is that you are helping creatures on the planet who really can't really help themselves. There's beauty in that too, boys.
Absolutely, because the wild animals don't have a voice. They can't say,
Exactly.
look after me. I'm very conscious that there are so many essential causes on this planet crying out for us. The cause of poverty bothers me every day of my life. If you're poor and starving, you can't make art, you can't see beauty, you can't participate in this thing. We are privileged in the fact that we can do this. And, I have connections with charities who address these issues, but to me, some people say, well, you only care about animals and you don't care about humans, and that's not the case. But animals are suffering in this world. We are taking over more and more of the space in this world. We are destroying habitat at a huge, hideous rate. And to me, the cause of animals is right up there in terms of priorities, because we will destroy the rest of the animals who are put on this planet to share it with us. And in doing so, we will destroy the quality of our own life.
And ourselves, yeah.
Yeah. So, to me, everything's important. You can't do everything in your life. To me, animals have cried out, and it's to that I've responded. And to me, it's a worthy priority, because this is our world. We have one chance to make it beautiful and keep it beautiful for all creatures.
Well said.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
And you can't do everything, Brian, but you are ticking off a lot of boxes.
We all do the little bit that we can do, right? And of course, at the end of the day, our art is valid for its own sake. I believe that. I believe that science and art are actually very close. I was brought up not to believe that, but I think they are, because these are the higher functions of the human brain, which we're given as a gift. We can explore the universe. We can experience the world around us in incredible detail, and we can interact with it. We've been given the power over the rest of the animals on this planet, and we've abused it terribly, seriously, badly, in my opinion. So there is still a chance, as David Attenborough will say, there is still a chance to put that right, but we have to turn around. We have to look right now and say, look, it's time to do things differently.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, shall we remind everybody, just in case somebody is just clicked on and they see me talking about perfume from Italy and Brian May and Anita Dobson on the other side, so what's going on here? I mean,
That we are selling this beautiful perfume called Save Me to support Brian May's project, the Save Me Trust, which goes towards the welfare and dignity of wild animals. And you can buy your bottle by going to the bottom of the screen and simply clicking on the image of the bottle. And you will there, I don't know, have we sold out? Have we sold out the signed copies? We're just about to sell out the signed copies, but there are two possibilities. There is the beautiful original bottle, and then there are also only several left, bottles that are actually signed by both Brian May and Sergio Momo, the perfume's creator. And this is only a pre-sale. At the end of this live, immediately you will be able to go to serjofuniverse.com, where you can continue to buy your own bottle of Save Me. For yourself, for someone you love. In any case, it's going to help the world and help the dignity of wild animals.
so the more successful we are, the more smile we put on animals' face, hopefully, yeah? If we had to put it on the Walt Disney kind of attitude, it would be nice to think in that way. And
I want to can I just add to what you've just said, David? You know, if you wake up in the middle of the night, folks, and think, oh, maybe I should participate in this, but I forgot who these people are. visit my Instagram. You know, I'm called Brian May for Real on Instagram, and if you go onto my bio, then you click on there, you'll find a thing called a slink, and in there is a beautiful picture of this perfume bottle, and everything will be revealed if you click on it. So visit me on Instagram, and all will be revealed. In case you didn't, you know, in case you were drunk when you were watching this.
yes, yes, just in case somebody doesn't recognize you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, I think that, well, first of all, thank you very much indeed for joining us, the both of you.
Indeed.
Again, both of you most welcome. The fact that you've been in Italy with us, and it's been fantastic to share opinion and to talk about this project, talk about ourselves. But I think it was important to explain how this project came along. So it's not just a commercial idea. It's completely the opposite. It's actually it's a nice idea, which is gonna hopefully help as much as we can Save Me Trust. So for me, I would apart from, of course, say big thank you to Anita and Brian for being with us tonight.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. It was a great pleasure to see you both. It's been so long.
Yeah, it's lovely for me. What a lovely way to start the new year, to do something positive
indeed.
like this.
Indeed.
And Happy New Year to you both.
Happy New Year to
Absolutely.
you both.
Happy New Year to you, to all the Save Me Trust team, which has been very helpful. Again, working from between Italy and UK, but we've been. It was tremendously effective. We organized everything, and your team on your side, my team on this side, all the technicians that you cannot see, but it's full of people around us at the moment. It's 6 or 7 people, all with a mask, and but making sure that everything is working and the sound is there and the picture is there. So, and then of course all my team, Sergio's team and my family and so on. So there is, a lot of people which is behind this project, although it's only 4 of us now talking about it. So again, thank you everybody.
Can I place my final thank you to you, Sergio? You have given something to us magnificently here. It's so generous of you. And the creativity and the love that's gone into it will forever be appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian, for being on board. And again, hopefully it won't be the only perfume or the only project we will share together for a good cause.
Excellent. God bless.
God bless.
Thank you very
God
much.
bless. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Nice to see you again, David.
You too,
Ciao.
Anita.
Ciao, ciao.
God bless.
Ciao, ciao. So, Shall we continue?
Yeah.
So, Sergio, I did wanted to ask you before we close. We talked about this perfume is available on serjofuniverse.com. What exactly is the Serjoff Universe?
Well, Serjoff Universe is a perfume boutique online where anybody can find the entire Sergio portfolio. So Sergio has been going on for 15 years now, and we created a lot of perfumes, a lot of collections, and there anybody can find anything we ever done from the very beginning. And of course, most important from today, you can find Save Me. And both versions, if there is any signed version available, but I don't think so. But for sure, you will find plenty of Save Me perfume. Of course, it's not a production which will go on forever, because like all the precious things have a beginning and an end. So although we have made sure that we have produced enough perfume, it will last. It will last hopefully enough to obviously to have the success that we were talking with Brian before,
yes. And to make a contribution.
To make a contribution, an important contribution to Save Me Trust.
Very good.
Okay.
Well, Sergio, I would like to thank you for having me. I've learned so much about your project, about this project, and also about perfume making. You're a great artist, and you're very inspired.
Thank you, thank you, David. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I mean, it's nice to have another artist sitting on my couch, and thank you for your time. I mean, it wasn't easy to get obviously this huge amount of information, but you really helped me out. It was nice that you've been you met a long time ago, Anita and Brian, so that made obviously a beautiful family conversation. That is really what we were aiming at. And again, like I said before, I would like to thank everybody which is being involved in this project. We are just in fact at the beginning of it, because the perfume can be purchased from now on, and hopefully that won't be the first time. That's the only time that we're gonna share such a beautiful time together.
Great, with pleasure. I'm back.
And
and to all of you out there, be it day, be it night, have a great evening, have a great continuation of your day, and have a terrific 2021.
Absolutely. Have hopefully the best year ever after the one we just passed. And I wish everybody all the best. Grazie a tutti e un grande saluto dall'Italia.